Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you on behalf of the NFCE Super Friends. This is the weekly wrap up from last week. We had some interesting games. You know, the Philadelphia Eagles took their first loss. The Giants still the Giants. The Dallas Cowboys appeared to have bounced back, as well as the Washington Commanders. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Commanders game first. The Commanders played a scrappy Atlanta team. I like the Atlanta Falcons. I really like the Atlanta Falcons. I'm a little more higher on Ritter than other people are. But, you know, Ritter still got some things to clean up, mistakes and things like that. Sam Howell's getting better and better. I enjoyed that game, to say the least. I think that was one of the games that was on at 1 o'clock before I was waiting for the Eagles game. So I enjoyed that game. I like how Eric Bieniemy's play calling is doing a great job of settling down Sam Howell. I will say that. But, you know, nevertheless, those dudes did take care of business. It was kind of lopsided in more ways than once. But, you know, I really enjoyed that game. You know what I mean? Congratulations to the Commanders on, you know what I'm saying, breaking a 3-game winning streak. They was a little salty, though, you know what I mean? They were super salty at the Eagles, especially Louie T. They were super salty at the Eagles, you know what I mean, because according to them, we barely won. But this is a game of winning, and winning is all that matters. So shout out to those guys for, beating the Atlanta Falcons. The Giants, man. The Giants are still the Giants. They're still a giant piece of whatever you want to call it, whatever adjective fits the narrative for you when you're talking about the Giants. But they did play the Bills in a close game. The Bills did win the game, but I will say this about the Giants. I think that Tyrod Taylor should be the quarterback. Those are just my opinions on that game, and I think Dabo might be under a little heat. You know what I mean? He may be under a little heat. You know, the decision to pay Daniel Jones this offseason is not looking like one that's paying dividends. That team is trash. You can make excuses for weapons or lack thereof and all of those things. The same team went to the playoffs last year, so you're expecting to get somewhere around the same result. You know, you don't want to regress. And I feel like that's what the Giants have done. They've shown us regression, you know what I mean, with very little improvement. You know, the one last season was just one flash in the pan, apparently, in terms of improving. But this is the same team. You know what I mean? This is the same team, the New York Giants, in my opinion. They lack weapons on the outside. They lack a franchise quarterback. Saquon Barkley still can't stay healthy. You know what I mean? This offense really can't compete, you know what I mean, Sunday in and Sunday out. So, you know, I don't expect anything to change for the Giants, you know what I mean, coming up here soon anyway. But, you know, the Giants and the Commanders, they do play each other. You know what I'm saying? The Giants and the Commanders will be playing each other this week, which is why you saw Louie T and Bad Dog do their head-to-head video on the channel. And, you know, I really don't have any thoughts about that game yet. But, you know, if I had to put my money on a winner, it would definitely not be the Giants. You know what I mean? The Giants haven't shown me they could do anything. But, you know, the Giants do always play Washington tough for some reason. You know what I mean? So I think it'll still be an entertaining divisional game, but I'm not looking really forward to seeing the Giants on TV. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm looking forward to getting our free 2 wins off of them and just not having to ever watch, talk, or see them ever again in my life because it's just not a good football team. The Dallas Cowboys, man. The Dallas Cowboys, you know, they bounced back. Now let's get to the Eagles first. You know, the Philadelphia Eagles took the first loss of the season to the Jets and what would be probably the worst game of Jalen Hurts' career. From top to bottom, the team didn't perform the way that they were supposed to perform. The only person that came there looking like they had something on their mind in terms of winning was A.J. Brown. You had mental lapses all over the field, from penalties to drop passes. Jake Elliott missed a kick that probably would have won the game. You know what I mean? Nobody was in sync. Offensive play calling was spotty. Jalen Hurts was getting more pressure than I like to see. Lane Johnson went out. That threw a wrinkle in the protection. Just everything that could go wrong against a team that you're supposed to beat went wrong for the Philadelphia Eagles, including the 3 picks. You know what I mean? Bobbled balls, guys hitting Jalen Hurts' hand while he's releasing the ball, things that cause anything that could go wrong went wrong. Now, this is why I'm not too concerned about it. Number one, the main reason you're still in the lead in the division. And number two, we don't know what the Philadelphia Eagles are. You really can't gauge it. And I'm an Eagles guy, clearly. You can't gauge what you're looking at. But what you do know is we ain't as bad as we played against the Jets. And we ain't as good as we've played all year. I'll let you let that sink in. You know what I mean? We know where we can go. And we're still trying to figure out where we can go while still being 5-1 and leading the division. So I'm not mad at it, man. And people want and people like Micah Parsons, they want Jalen Hurts to be under some type of level of scrutiny because they feel like Dak Prescott always gets scrutinized. You're talking about two different things. You're talking about two different players, man. Jalen Hurts is an all-pro, 25-year-old, conference championship winning, Super Bowl playing quarterback. Dak Prescott is none of those things. He's 30 years old, the same playoff wins as Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Never been an all-pro, never played in the championship game, never played in the Super Bowl. 8 years as a starter. It's different. It's different. Jalen Hurts just had an 11-game road streak snapped. Only 3 people in the NFL history did that. Joe Montana, Steve Young, was guys on the list. You know what I'm saying? I think Brady, only a few guys have done this. It just ended for him. So the criticism that you want Jalen Hurts to get, it's been debunked by the things that he does on the football field. 5-1, just was in the Super Bowl. 11-game road streak. Like, that's not normal in the NFL. Look at how many people did it. So the criticism should be different. You know, y'all crying for respect over there on that side. I don't understand it. You got to let your play do the talking. Nobody thought Jalen Hurts was going to be good, y'all. How soon do we forget that? It was only me for a large part wearing the Hurts season hat. How soon do we forget that? You know what I'm saying? Now we acting like he's been coddled by the media for his whole career. No, he had to earn his spot. He had to earn his spot. He had to earn his spot. It's a couple guys that have been coddled, but Jalen Hurts ain't one of them. He earned every ounce of respect that he gets by letting his play talk on the field. A lot of guys can take notes from that. A lot of these crying fan bases and crying quarterbacks and crying NFL players with podcasts, they can take notes from that. You got to get it the hard way. For example, before we get into the Cowboys game, the podcast game, I had to make myself, Lord Brunson. You know what I'm saying? I had to make myself, such as Bad Dog, such as Law, such as Louie T. We had to make ourselves. Micah Parsons got a nice podcast because he was already Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? So while we talking about the respect that people supposed to be getting and things of that nature, respect is earned, not given. The Dallas Cowboys bounced back in the win column against the Chargers. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. But if you want me to keep it 100, I'm not impressed with them. I'm not impressed with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not impressed with nobody in the NFC East besides the Philadelphia Eagles. This is not the homer in me. You just got bent over, you know what I'm saying, by the San Francisco 49ers. Then you come out here and have a scuffle, a 2017 scuffle. And we supposed to think y'all back. I don't think you back, but enjoy your bye week. You got a lot more things to figure out. You know what I mean? If you're talking about being a contender, I don't see it in you. You know what I'm saying? The Philadelphia Eagles, their next opponent would be the Miami Dolphins, and that is going to be one of those ones. You know, when you're building a championship roster, these are the type of games that you want to see your team in, from my point of view, in my opinion. You want to see your team in these type of games that matter. You know what I mean? I gave my prediction on what I thought was going to happen in that game on my channel. But I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to put up 33 and win the game, 33-28. I'm thinking something like that. But this offense that we're going to go up against on our defense has to see, you know what I mean, all night, it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task, man. The window dressing, the motion, the separation that these wide receivers create. They're also first and running. You know what I mean? I feel like that's really the key to their offense, how well they run the ball as well. But I think the Philadelphia Eagles front is going to have something to say about that run. We are going to make them change how they play. And I think that's going to fall into our, into our category of things that help us win the game. So, listen, man, the Giants and the Commanders facing off. The Dallas Cowboys at the crib, icing up. The Philadelphia Eagles play the Miami Dolphins. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give me your predictions for the upcoming week for the teams. And as always, Super Friends up, go Birds. You know the vibes, man.